Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 92. What's up, Left Hand?
Not much, man. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Just thought I'd come in and join the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's helpful. I mean, it's always nice when you're here because I suck by myself.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Thank you. Please don't.
It's comments like that that'll never get us syndicated.
I'll stay quiet on that one.
Yeah. So did you do anything?
No, you and Daryl were having a great show before we started recording there. So
Yeah, I know.
I was just taking notes, man.
Might as well introduce our guest now. We've got Daryl from Tactical Existence. One of these days I'll learn how to talk. We've got Daryl from Tactical Existence on the show with us, YouTube channel.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Daryl?
Good to
Glad
see
you
you
could
guys
join us,
again.
man.
Nope.
Hey, glad to be here. Always nice talking to you guys.
You are just a ball of enthusiasm about this, aren't you?
Did we wake you
I
up
try
from a
my
nap?
best.
What's up?
It's like, glad to be here. Thanks, guys. It's good to
You're
see
only
you.
an hour ahead of us, dude.
I know. I thought I was going to be on at 3, though, so I was all pumped at 3 o'clock.
I'm just excited
I
because
know.
we've got you
Sorry
coming.
about that, man.
We've got you coming through on Skype, and like you've got this gorgeous picture of you like standing all Viking like on a big rock with the sun down, and
I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
You know, I'm
Looks
a
like
very
he's taking a piss.
yeah, it looks like a rainbow
I'm a
piss.
very majestic creature.
Well,
Nice stream going over the.
it's like a rainbow stream almost. It's nice, man.
Now, if you've seen the other pictures,
Daryl from Tactical Existence pisses rainbows. We now know.
Nice art.
It's impressive.
I do. This is true. It's a fact. There's been studies done. No one can figure it out.
Just deal with it, right?
Yeah, the double rainbow video that was really big on YouTube.
It's got nothing on you.
That was actually it was after a night of drinking. And
Oh, so you were on the other side of that hill.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't want to talk
All
too
right.
much about it.
Gotcha.
But-
kind of super secret squirrel,
Yeah. I don't want to. Talk
or in
too
this
much.
case,
But you
super
can see the
secret
rest.
squirt.
Right.
That's more of a hose. I don't know about a squirt.
we actually shot from up on that ridge.
So what? Don't we have a gun show?
Yeah.
So, what did you do with guns this week?
Okay.
I said, what'd you do in guns?
I didn't do anything inside of guns. I'm not that small. So yeah, I went to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and got to see the American Defense Manufacturing's processes there. Really, really cool place. Adam Peeney's now the vice president of sales for them. If you don't know who they are, ADM's guns, if you go to the latest issue of Recoil, they're the gun their gun is on the cover. It's got like this multicam look to it and kind of a tan look. Really cool there. Then on my way back down, I stopped by Tim, Military Arms Channel. He's got his new shop, Copper Custom, and that was pretty cool. It's a really neat looking shop, man. He's done a couple videos in there.
Copper Custom.
Copper Custom. It's inside.
And it's a gun store.
Custom gun. It's inside another gun store, which is called Blythe's. They're in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Bly's.
Blythe's. Blythes, I think.
He
Take it
talks
that's
about them all
somebody's
the time.
name.
Yep.
Bly's.
Yep.
Okay.
And so it's in the back of their gun store, and it's like a really neat custom area. And did a SDI video for with Tim. And
So why does he call it copper? Does he do a lot of stuff with copper?
I don't know. I didn't see any copper on
Copperhead
guns.
snake.
How's
Maybe,
copper relate
Copperhead
to
snake,
guns?
maybe.
maybe there's a big copper mine in the area or something. I don't know.
Well, we have a lot of
What's his-
copperheads here in Kentucky, so he's close
he
to
have a
Kentucky.
logo?
Probably.
No, that's right. You're just right across the border from us. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
I got to do that and then hauled, but I was going to stay in Indianapolis last night and just sleep. I got there about,
It's a nice town.
yeah, I guess I got there about midnight, and it just kind of hit me, okay, like if I get here at midnight, I'm going to sleep a few hours and get up and have another 4-hour drive. Or I can just push through the 4 hours, sleep in, and not have to drive at all tomorrow. So that's what I did. I drove, got here. Well, actually, I got here later than I thought because I stopped and ate breakfast and lunch. But, got here today and didn't have to do the wake up and get more hours driving stuff. So
Well,
Did you stop and pick up a sun drop to keep you awake?
we got those in Tennessee, man. I ain't got to stop
Oh,
up
yeah,
there.
yeah, we've had sun drop in Tennessee for decades.
What you talking
Good
about?
stuff, man.
No, I got actually, I tried something new. I did stop and get one of those NO Explodes, the nitrous oxide. It's like a pre-workout, but they started selling them in gas stations as like energy drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got me through
Was
the
it any
drive.
good?
Yeah, it got me through the drive pretty well.
Is that better than those things we were drinking in Colorado?
No.
Remember those that Martin had?
The Go Fast.
Go Fast.
Yeah, those things
are awesome.
Those were nice. Very, very nice.
They need to get those in Tennessee.
No. What about you? What'd you do gun-wise this week?
Let's see. I'm getting another holster made. So I'm getting Scotty from Ronin to make me a holster for my carrier, my plate carrier, but one that's also that if I don't have it on for Molly on my plate carrier, then I can convert it to a how do I carry?
Appendix
carry.
Yeah.
Can't remember how you said.
How do I carry?
So I can convert it from the Molly to the appendix carry. Could get my appendix in. So and it's gonna be the Talking Lead edition.
Nice.
He made you one with Talking Lead, right?
Yep, for my 19 Glock 19.
Yeah, it's got a black. So he's gonna do me one like that for my 23.
Nice.
And I dropped off my flashlight today because he's gonna make it where it's gonna be a flashlight holster, so I can holster it with my flashlight.
Sweet.
So I did that, and I think I talked about sighting in the 300 blackout last week. Did I do that last week?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
so
you did.
I got that. So I'm on the hunt for some 300 blackout ammo. The cheapest I've found is like 54 cents a round at what's the name of that company?
Minutemen Munitions, Vet Made Ammo,
It's not surplus ammo, but it's
Ammo Depot,
Ammo Depot.
Ammo to Go.
But they send me emails here. I'll pull it up real quick here. Hold on.
Well, you'll never guess what I got on the doorstep yesterday.
Yeah, it's
Remington R51.
Freedom Munitions.
No.
Dang. Freedom
What did you get on
Munitions.
your
Gotcha.
doorstep?
300 rip out.
Rip out.
Rip out.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have it up on the site yet, but it's G2 Research.
Oh, like the RIP ammo, but in 300 blackout.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sent me some of their newly developed 300 blackout ammo.
Well, they need to send me some.
It looks pretty cool. It does. So
That's
we're going
what
to be
I
doing
need.
some testing on that.
Awesome.
What supersonic?
Both supersonic and subsonic.
Super and sub. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We might have to shoot it out of the, one and only 300 blackout Tavor. Do a little testing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to do that.
Oh yeah, it's a gimme. It's a gimme. It's a given. See how I am? It's like gimme.
I did forget something else. I was thinking of new things we could do with the show, like segments and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to another talk show driving down the road, one of the most famous talk shows in the world. They have these little sketches where they'll call into like the swap shop type radio shows.
Uh-huh.
And they'll put up something for sale, but they'll use like a perverted name for it. But the person answering doesn't realize it, so he'll just say it over and over again. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, kind of like sweaty balls.
Yeah, similar. If you know the context, it's really not that perverted. But if you just kind of hear it off, yeah, basically. So I was thinking, I was like, how could we do something like that? We don't really want to go down that road. And then it hit me. We can come up with another show called Tennesseans Against Gun Sanity, and we can fake call like Moms Demand Action and all these anti-gun groups, and then get their opinions on retarded stuff like, what do you feel about the
Stuff that
700?
doesn't exist.
Yeah, what do you feel about that 795 blast out? It's supposed to be like the most deadly round ever. What's y'all's opinion? And like get them to just chime in. I think that'd be hilarious.
Can I please be on the first episode of that?
Yes. Well, it's not the episode. We'll do like little clips, the segments. We'll put it at the beginning of every show. I think that'll be funny.
Like our man on the street segment. We'll have a little segment.
But it'll be fake. We'll
That'll be awesome.
we'll pre-record them and be like, yeah, did you know that the Ghost gun has been developed and it shoots 80,000 rounds per second? What do you think about that? And just get them going. Oh yes, we heard about that one, and it's just horrible, and we need to get rid of it immediately.
Yeah.
And
Because the answers would be funnier than the question. You know what I mean?
So this
yeah.
what is today's date? November 6th.
Yeah.
All right. So if anybody records that idea after November 6th, 2014, you are blatantly copying us before we get it done.
So we're calling dibs.
Dibs.
Well, I listened to your Halloween show, and that was the comment of the show was you're talking about you accidentally said what stops a good guy with a gun instead of
And I
only
said
thing
the
that stops a bad guy
government.
with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you said the
John
only thing that
said
stops
that.
a good guy with a gun is the government.
Yep. I was like, John said something, and I was like, no, government's the only thing that stops a good guy with a gun.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Nice.
And not even they can do that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and do the jackwagon train.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jackwagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
And
All right.
this week, I already mentioned them. We put them on there before, but let's do it again. Moms Demand Action, because did you see what they came out with yesterday? Their press release.
What have they done yesterday?
Okay, we all know that how the elections went on Tuesday. A fairly
Yes.
fairly favorable for the gun industry, I would say. Okay, no, really favorable for the gun industry. And Moms Demand Action came out yesterday and said, "See, everybody, we knew if we banded together, we could make a difference and stop all this and
Really?
change." And it was like, really? You realize that every single politician that was endorsed by the every single politician that was endorsed by the NRA got elected yesterday or Tuesday, and they came out like they had this big success story.
Oh my gosh.
That is
Ignorance
goes in
is
showing
bliss.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
It's almost like they
Goes
had
in
like a
showing you
pre.
how smart they are.
Yeah, it was almost like they had a pre-prepared press statement, and somebody put the wrong one out. It was bad.
But seeing some of the other stuff they've put out, it's doesn't surprise me.
Do you have it? Anybody got
Moms
another one?
against everything. I think they just need to get laid. I think that would solve a lot of their problems right there.
Who was it that we had on that was pointing out? Oh, it was Vince that pointed out that Shannon Watts was like one of the spin doctors for Monsanto.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me puke in my mouth a little bit too. It's like interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That was
I can't.
Vince.
Yeah, I can't remember the details, but Vince pulled him up while we were on there. So Daryl with Tactical Existence.
That's me.
We've had you on the show before, but when we had you on, it was a little chaotic at the NRA event. We didn't get to really dive into some of the stuff about you. One of the things I really wanted to discuss, and we can briefly mention the company. We're not going to bash the company. We're just going to kind of talk about the history with one of your most popular.
We're just going to talk about the facts.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is the video that basically brought you into the forefront of YouTube. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. And that was, Daryl was one of, if not the first people to out the Remington R51 and all the issues that it was having.
I think I was the first that I know of, because when I went to SHOT, like a lot of other reviewers, I was excited about it. It's a cool design. It's different. It looks different, and I like new stuff. So when it wasn't there for me to shoot, as a media person, I was kind of disappointed and then suspicious. So as soon as it was available, I got a couple of shops that I deal with, and I called and said I want the first one that walks through the door, because they said they would send me one.
Dude, it'll walk through the door?
Yeah, well, yeah, as soon as it got there, I wanted
gotcha.
it.
I was going to say, then I don't think it was that crappy of a gun if it can actually walk.
This meaning I wanted the first one they got. But
he's so literal, Daryl. You got to overlook him.
I am. Is it literal or dense? Which one?
he's hard to
is the
overlook.
actual?
I mean, he's a big guy.
Well, luckily, we're Skyping. You don't have to overlook him.
This is true. Yeah, I got it, and as soon as they got it, they called me up. I went and got it, and was kind of excited about it. And I think the number one, the slide was ridiculously sticky from out of the box, and so I wasn't very impressed right away. And I don't believe that you have to tear a gun down and clean it and lube it and do all this stuff before you test it. So I basically took it apart and looked at it, put it back together, went and shot it. I think the third round was a malfunction. The fifth round was a malfunction. The seventh round was a malfunction. It was just ridiculousness. And I could only get like 156 shots, I think, something like that out of it, because it actually seized shut with around the chamber. So as dangerous as that is, I did manage, off camera to get it unseized and get the round out, and took it out for another test. And it did do better. I did actually clean it, inspect it, and I wasn't happy with the machine work or the casting work, whatever process they used on the inside of the gun. It didn't look very good to me. So,
How long did you have this gun to test it?
probably a month or so.
About a month.
Yeah, something like that.
How many rounds would you say you put through it?
On camera, probably 400 or so, 500.
Yeah.
Altogether, maybe 6. And the reason for that was as I didn't feel safe anymore shooting it. The second time around, it did perform better up until a point, up until around the 130th round mark. It started having issues once again. And then it had, which baffles me, but it had a hard time. It didn't want to fire defensive rounds, which I can't understand. And then it would light primer strikes on some rounds, and it just the whole gamut of malfunctions that you could think of it had. It fired out of battery, which is extremely dangerous in my opinion. That's one of the reasons I don't want to shoot anymore. And I actually flinch in the video. I've been shooting for over 25 years.
That's a fact. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the video that Tim did. You could see he was visibly shaken, and he's like, okay, I'm getting really nervous now. I'm not going to shoot this anymore.
Yeah, and I had people comment on it, like, flinch much? Like, you want to shoot it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've been shooting a long time, and this gun, literally, I was scared to death at the end to shoot it, and that's why I initially, at the end, stopped shooting it. I was, I didn't know if the gun was going to blow apart in my hand or what was going to happen, so I did stop altogether, and I sent the gun back into Remington. They've had it for... God, I don't know how long it's been now. I was supposed to have
You did the video in March, right?
I think so.
Is that when you published it?
I think so.
Around March?
I've done like several videos on it.
Yeah.
The big one, though, was like...
Yeah, I think that was March.
Yeah. So they've had it since then at least, right?
Well, they had it since, I don't know what the date was, but since I was done with my testing, yes, I sent it back to them for repair, and they've had it since then. And, when they actually...
keeping in touch with you and keeping you updated on what's going on with it?
No.
Really?
Right. Not at all. And that's one of those... I did at one point get a letter in the mail or an email, I can't remember which, saying that, they were going to fix the problem, that you were going to get... a Pelican case and like some free magazines and all this, and they were going to start shipping in, October. And I've still never gotten anything from them. I've not gotten any correspondence since then from them. So, like everyone else, I'm just left out my money and without a firearm. And, I don't know how long it's been now, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But, when they actually pulled R51 from the website, I think I was the first person to actually break that story, if I'm correct. And I made a little post about that on our website, and because it was actually a whim is how I found out about that. I posted an update video since I sent my gun in and hadn't heard anything. And I called, and when I originally sent that gun in, they told me 7 to 10 days turnaround.
Right.
Well, I call 2 months later, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they said, I don't know who told you that, but that's crazy. It's nowhere near that time. And they said, you're looking at 8 to 10 weeks minimum, which I would have been happy with at this point. You know what I mean?
It's 8 to 10 months now.
Yeah, right. So,
that's ridiculous. That's crazy.
I do that update video, right? And I go to check the website after I did it, and I could find nothing on the R51 at all.
Really?
So they had pulled it from their website completely. So I did an update on that.
Number one, yeah.
Right. And then once I posted that, everybody grabbed it and it ran like wildfire. And, my website's small compared to, some of these other websites. So it took off on their websites. But, it's been an ordeal. I mean, to say the least.
So they offered to refund your money or anything?
I could actually get a refund on the gun, but I don't really want to do that because I would much rather... evaluate the gun that they're going to put back out.
Right.
Now, my suspicions at this point are telling me that, that may never happen now. That is what I'm worried about.
What it's looking like, yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised to get an email tomorrow saying that we've scrapped the whole project. Here's your money back.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's got such a bad stigma right now that if they did re-release it, I don't think it would do very well.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that too. I mean, I would give it a fair shake, of course, but after shooting the first one, if it even resembles, which I'm sure it's going to look exactly the same, but I don't know that I could ever shake the stereotype or the experience I had with it. So
they'll probably come out with some cool name like the
Plastic Makarov.
No, the T-52.
Well, surprisingly enough, I think it's going to be called the R-51.
Oh, okay.
It's like the new Coke.
Okay, so
I'm giving away my age there, but
the new R-51.
So we're back to something we discussed a couple weeks ago on like marketing principles in our industry. So you're going to take something that got one of the worst names of any gun ever released, and let's call the new one the same name.
Right. Exactly.
The exact same name.
And don't get us wrong. We were talking about this before the show. All three of us are huge Remington fans. One of my favorite rifles I've ever owned was the Remington 700. I have a whole safe full of Remington ammo. So it's not that we're bashing
I can't
Remington.
say as far as firearms that, I'm a huge Remington fan, but I do use some of their products. Like you said, the ammunition.
You loved your R1, right?
Their gun cleaning. I did like that. Yeah. I don't have it any longer, but I did like it.
Yeah. I've had Remingtons my whole life. Yeah. From 22s to 700s to 870s and 1100s, whatever the case may be. I've had them my whole life. I've never had a problem with them. Now, I did get accused of that a whole lot when I first released that video,
Yeah.
They're
the R1s were phenomenal. I love the R1s. If I ever go back to get a 1911, I'll probably get one of those. Unless I do the TDS 80%er. And did you get to shoot that one? You didn't get to shoot that one, did you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about Daryl.
Oh.
No, I haven't. I haven't shot it.
Okay. I had it down there at the Georgia shoot.
It was hectic. I shot a lot of stuff, but I didn't get to shoot that.
Yeah.
I wish I had now.
But it's a good shooting gun. People were comparing it to a Kimber.
Well, kind of the reason I was clarifying that this isn't a Remington bashing session. This is more of almost like a wake up call to our industry that with new media, whether it's podcasts, YouTubes, blogs, websites, whatever, it's not something that you can squeak by anymore.
Right.
Really any industry nowadays.
Right.
There were some articles that came out in print media. I think even a couple of websites, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Daryl, that were praising the R-51 as the greatest handgun ever invented. It shot great. They've gone through thousands of rounds without a single issue.
Yeah.
But then every single person that bought one had these same issues you were talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been, tons of ads nationally, even, as far as print that, is the greatest, it was the next Glock as far as carry guns. And, it was just fantastic. And there was some YouTube videos, praising it. And
they actually had them and they were shooting and praise it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a few of those. And, that was one of the biggest things for me is I do what I do because I love doing it. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'm going to shoot, all the time and do what I do. But, I take what I do very seriously because a lot of people make decisions based on what I say.
Sure.
And so I take that very seriously. And when I seen that, the performance of the gun, it was just such a letdown for me. And it kind of opened my eyes to some of the industry, which, I wasn't naive enough to believe that money doesn't talk, but this showed me that money really, really can make a product. And
and something that's kind of scary to me, back before there was the internet and we had all this information at our fingertips, how many times did we get screwed over by commercials or magazine articles?
Oh, absolutely.
And we just didn't know it.
Every single time.
That's why, a lot of people in companies in our industry and all industry really are starting to realize, how valuable what we do is. Mm-hmm. Because, number one, I have no reason to lie, about a product. And I got accused of that. When I first started putting out the R-51 videos, people were like, "Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about," and you're just a Remington hater. And I'm the furthest thing from the truth. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Like I said, I've had them since I've been a kid, and I was just disappointed, and I didn't want, other people, for me to buy the gun and it not perform. Well, that's part of what I do, so that's okay. But for your average guy that's going to go out here and own one handgun that he wants for self-defense, and he pulls this gun out to defend his life, and it goes click.
Yep,
that's a problem for me. So.
Or it goes off without you pulling the trigger,
or whatever the case.
But here's the thing, these people that are bashing and saying you're liars, like it's video. You've got it right here on video. How does a video lie?
Right, and that's where it came back to the personal attacks, like, oh, you're flinching. Yeah, well, yeah, of course I am. But
well, how can an opinionated review make you a liar? It's your opinion.
There's a lot of keyboard commandos out here. I mean, we all know that.
With a lot of the stuff that we do on Talking Lead, there's stuff that I like that Left Hand can't stand, and there's stuff that Left Hand likes that I can't stand. But guess
absolutely.
what? They're getting an honest opinion.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to go, Left Hand's not going to go, hey, check out this new XYZ comp, blah, blah, blah. It's so awesome. And I'm going to go, yeah, because Left Hand said it. We need to do it because we want to get sponsored by XYZ comp.
Right.
But there is something we both do agree on is camo form rocks.
Next subject.
Well, that's the thing. One of the greatest things for me.
Left Hand's going to start a camo form fashion company making clothes out of camo form.
That was my Halloween outfit, dude. I was camo form.
Camo form mummy.
Yeah. Actually,
sorry, Daryl. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, well, I kind of did, but
I know you interrupted me for camo form.
Hey, and they don't even sponsor us. So
I was going to make a strong point here.
Yes, please. Let's rewind. Take a deep breath.
No, nothing to do with camo form.
Next subject. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
But I mean, what impresses me about companies is a company that can take criticism, and there's some that can, and there's some that can't. And the ones that can, those are the companies I want to deal with because those are the people really striving to make their product better.
Right.
Remington could really turn this around if they would just come out and admit that it was an epic failure.
Absolutely.
They screwed the pooch. We're sorry. We're going to make it right. We're making it right. And if they want to come back with the R51, after they make a statement like that, then yeah, they may have some success with it. But they're going to have to take that first step of ownership of their failure first.
Well, that's where a lot of these.
I've said that since day one.
And that's where Sorry.
Now I think it's too late for them to do that. But had they come out and said, look, we're sorry, we made a mistake, because in my opinion, they had to know. I mean, there's no way that these guns could have passed quality control of any sorts. I mean, in my opinion, so had they just came out and said, look, we know it's bad, we know it was a mistake, let us fix it. It may take a year.
Right.
Well, yeah, let me know. If I want a refund, I'll get a refund. But don't say, like the statement when they pulled the R51 out, they did finally release a statement saying, that basically it wasn't our fault, blah, 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 blah. I mean, taking no
ownership of it. Yeah.
Well,
ownership of their failures.
And here's the perfect example in our industry where that works. Recoil, last year, HK, I can't remember what model gun it was. Whoever it was that was writing the article went along with the statement the manufacturer made about no civilian should own this gun. Everybody went crazy. Recoil's anti-gun. Get rid of them. They're horrible. They cleaned house. They said, look, that guy's gone. He was wrong. We are not like that. We're bringing in entire new editorial staff. We're bringing in new people to write. We're going to revamp the whole thing. It's still going to be the same cool Recoil, but we screwed up. He screwed up. We got rid of him. We fixed it. And now Recoil is like one of the juggernauts in the media side of our industry.
Honestly, it almost always works.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, people don't believe it, but it does.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless you're Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that depends on what the meaning of the word is.
What's that saying? The Monica Lewinsky pin? Like, I'm going to. Something about I'm going to switch, to the Republican Party because the Democrats left a bad taste in my mouth.
could go several different ways with that one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Stain my shirt, something,
We never get political on this show outside of the Second Amendment. I'm going to make one quick comment because my blood started boiling with something I heard the other day. No matter how much you back George Bush or Daddy Bush, the whole talk of Jeb Bush being our Republican candidate for the presidency in, was it 2016?
That's the next one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now it's looking like Hillary Clinton is going to be the Democratic candidate.
Yeah.
All signs are pointing that direction.
So if our two options are a Bush or a Clinton, for 40 freaking years, two families will have been running our country.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No.
That's not right.
No,
I know you guys don't get political, but I'm just gonna, can we get a little Rand Paul in there?
somebody. No,
Just
no Bush, no
somebody
Clinton.
who's not related to a Bush or a Clinton.
Right. Somebody that's not a family that's been in power for freaking 30-something years.
Right.
We need some new money in the White House. New
Well,
money.
I mean, if you think about it, if Hillary wins, I mean, she ran the country once already.
It's true. She does wear some strong pants.
Right.
Big ones.
Okay, and we'll stop the politics there.
You didn't just say big ones, did you?
That's it. I did.
That's pretty good.
Bless her heart. She eats well.
But yeah, it's kind of. I'm really enjoying the time that we've gotten into this new media thing because we're seeing this paradigm shift in the way things are done in our industry. We started talking lead right about the time that the industry was kind of like podcasts and YouTube. What? That's just, oh gosh, y'all are just like hobbyists. And they started transitioning into, hey, we're at NRA, everybody come to our booth. We're coming into a time where they're welcome all the new media to their booths because they get it. They get that there's a bigger following in combined YouTube power and combined podcast power and combined blog power than most everybody else has with, TV or print media or anything along those lines. So it's kind of cool seeing that transition happen.
Yeah, it's a good time to be in.
Yep.
I've only had my YouTube channel up a little over, a year. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I've been doing, I do the same things in my YouTube that I've done my whole life. I just, I now do it in front of a camera and a blog. So, but it is an interesting time because, like you say, the tides are just turning from print media and even, television to and rightfully so, in my opinion, because, there's not a lot of big paychecks for me, at least coming from whatever manufacturer to give them praise.
Right.
And I wouldn't do that anyway.
Sure.
But I think you get a more honest opinion and you get lots more opinions than you will out of, a print ad.
Right.
That's one person's opinion of a product that just got $20,000 for it to be in that magazine or on the cover.
And as we keep growing, and more people are able to have access to good cameras and audio and everything else, anybody can start a YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And we'll end up with plenty of channels that will, take a gun for free and say, hey, this is the most awesome gum in the world. Gun, because they got it for free. So we'll still have to deal with that, but there's a whole lot more information that if you just look for a non-biased viewpoint, and you're gonna be able to find it.
That one thing you said there that is key is, just because you got a gun and you give it a bad review, that's when the manufacturers really should be able to take that criticism to improve their product. Because, what we just talked about, the Remington R51, if the Remington approached me tomorrow and said, hey, would you like to, evaluate this? Absolutely.
Sure.
I don't hold any hard feelings towards any manufacturer. That was just a bad product. Yeah. Does that mean that, I'm done with that company? Well, absolutely not. It just means improve it, and I'll see you for the next one.
Well, and that's another thing. Any manufacturers that are listening, if you give us or Daryl or Tim or Eric or Plinkster or whoever,
preferably Daryl.
Yeah, preferably Daryl. No, wait a minute. Preferably us. Some firearm, and we're like, it was having this issue, having this issue. We're not done, because part of the whole review process is, talking to the customer service.
We have a prime example of that too. You know, we've got experience with that.
Yeah.
With a gun that we got that wasn't performing as it was supposed to be, and we sent it back, and we never heard back from them.
And we tried over and over and over to contact these people, and even said when we gave, okay, these are the issues we're having.
Lionheart.
Yeah, these are the issues we're having here. We're not bashing the company because we really like the firearm and how they've designed it and the cool ideas they put into it. There's just some issues. We're going to wait and see what the results are after we get the gun back.
And it was just probably that particular gun in this case, because there have been other ones that have been out that performed, flawlessly.
Sure.
So
Right.
I think we probably just got a bad batch, so to speak. And we were giving them an opportunity to correct it and send it back, and they never did. So,
and
how are we supposed to change our opinion now?
Well, and if they do tomorrow, here's another thing. Let's say it goes 2 years, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my gosh, we apologize." Back to the apology, honesty. This slipped through the cracks. Joe Blow that worked this aspect was supposed to deal with it. He forgot to tell us. Here's the new gun. Tell us what you think. We will then be honest from their point. We'll let everybody know, hey, this was a screw up on a couple of issues. They were honest with us. They apologized. We got the gun back. It was awesome. You still get a positive.
We hold no ill will, just like you said, Josh.
Josh.
Who's Josh?
Not Josh.
Did we have somebody else on the show all of a sudden?
Sorry, Daryl. Josh. Just like Daryl said, there's my subconscious.
You were talking to him. You were like, "Look, Josh."
Freudian slip. I don't even know where I was going with that. So, but
you were holding no ill will towards Josh.
Yeah, my point is, just like Zeke was saying, if you guys want to approach us and talk about it, we're still open to that. If anybody wants to do that,
right.
I mean, it's just. But at this point, we've got one opinion of the gun because that was our experience with it.
Yep.
And they haven't done anything to try to change our minds on that.
And there's different style of reviews out there too. Somebody like you, somebody like Tim, somebody like Eric, y'all are going to get more into the technical aspect. Y'all are going to get really down, nitty gritty, all the way down to every little fraction of a millimeter, whatever. We're going to sit there and go, dude, this thing shoots awesome. Got great groups.
It feels
it's cool
good,
looking.
It looks good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, just look at my Smith & Wesson review on YouTube.
That's one of the things too. To me, is you no industry is perfect, including ours. And I mean the YouTube, blogger type stuff. You see a whole lot of reviews out here. A gun came out, on the 5th, and you have 1,000 reviews on the 6th.
A new gun came out on the 5th?
Huh? No, it couldn't. But I don't review guns in a week or a day or a month. I may put up a video, showing my path with that gun. I may put up a video a couple of days after it came out, but I don't put out reviews that fast because I don't believe you can. Number one. Mm-hmm. So, but
well, they're more features. People call them reviews, but they're more features. Like, hey, here's this gun. Here's what it looks like.
Right.
Here's all the accessories you get with it. It's kind of one of those things. Now, that's in my opinion, that's a featuring a gun. That's not a review.
Right. And I do that all the time. Like if there's something I'm reviewing, I'll put up a video of just nothing but us shooting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't like people getting into, all the different mechanics and the physics and stuff behind the spring that, sometimes I just want to see the gun and see that it, hey, it works, it performs good.
Well,
good enough for me to go out there and buy one, spend my hard-earned money on it.
For an example. He's so popular, him and Big John, they go out there and they shoot. Mm-hmm. And people love it.
Yep.
I mean, of course, he's a tremendously good shot, but people like, gun guys like to see gun guys shoot. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I go and say I'm going to review something. I'll go out and watch videos of it. And I'm like, man, this is just awesome. I like to watch shooting. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And those videos have their place. I do them. But when it comes time for a review, I believe you got to have trigger time. You got to have reliability. You got to have a lot of rounds downrange. So that's
you got to try the different ammos in it.
Absolutely. You got to try
that's a review.
Ammo, target ammo.
Yeah.
If you're going to review a CCW,
you got to go with the
CCW,
different climates. Yeah, you got to throw it in different climates. Different temperatures. That's a review. And some people like that stuff. Sometimes depending on what kind of gun I'm going to in the market for, that kind of review may be just what I'm looking for. But my point is, there's room for all those different kinds of reviews, features,
Absolutely.
whatever it is, because everybody's got different priorities when they're going to get information on whatever it is they're looking for.
Absolutely. They all have value, and they all have entertainment value, and anybody can do this. And that's why it's so nice when you actually build a fan base that actually likes what you do and understands what you do. Mm-hmm. Like somebody my size, as far as YouTube.
I was going to say, you're not that big, dude.
Well, let me say, I can't carry appendix, okay?
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
But, all these ammo companies aren't at my door saying, hey, man, take 6 cases of ammo. Now, I do get ammo, of course, for what I do, but what we do is expensive. People think there's this mysterious YouTube bank vault that you have everything in the world handed to you. That's not the case.
Yeah, they think once you start putting up a video, you're making money.
They think you're rich. And that's not the case. I spend a lot of money.
In fact, a lot of us are more broke after we start YouTube than when we started.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Tax write-off.
Yeah.
One of my other huge videos is the TacCon slide fire on the same gun. That I think that may be my biggest video. That one, was just cool and fun to do, but I shot 3,000 rounds that month. And that came out of my pocket. Yeah. That's a lot of money. So, I like that when people actually realize and say, hey, thanks for putting this out. And, I don't have to have that, but it's nice when people do understand that, you're doing this to help them as well. So
yeah, kind of like a public service, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, that's what it is.
Do I want to make money doing it? Of course. But
that's everyone's ultimate goal, I guess.
Here's one of my things is I kind of changed the way that I do things is because I stopped wanting to look at it so much as a business, because I had other friends that were like, look, if you're not having this business plan, blah, 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 and you're not doing this, I'm doing this because I like it. If I make money, great. If I don't, then that's fine.
And that's exactly how we got started into it. This started out as something that we did for ourselves.
Right.
And we're like, hey, maybe other people might enjoy this also. So let's put it out there, see what happens.
Right.
Would not intending to try to make money on it or anything like that. It's just for entertainment, enjoyment purposes only.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't know how to run a business. That's what I did most of my life. I own another business which allows me to do what I do. So, but I do this because of the love of it, and I still love it.
So
otherwise I wouldn't do it.
Let's get into our questions with you. How did you originally get into firearms?
You mean the questions we already asked him?
When did we ask him those?
At NRA.
Oh, did we ask you those at NRA?
I don't think
we did, man.
Yeah, because he was the only new one in that group. And because we didn't do Eric and them, and he was like the only one, so we used it on him.
I didn't do a whole lot of talking to NRA.
Yeah, I think we need to redo him. We need to give him a redo. So how'd you originally get into guns?
Basically, I had my oldest brother joined the military, and my dad was a hunter, and my brothers were hunters, and I kind of grew up around guns, and I just had a huge respect and fascination. I know that sounds bad to moms demand action and stuff, but I was fascinated with guns.
Well, we don't give a flip what they think. So, what was your first firearm?
My first firearm was that
you could call your own. This was mine. Either it was given to you or you went out and bought it.
A 1022 Ruger 1022.
That seems to be a popular one.
Yeah, very first firearm. Now, the very first gun I ever shot was a nylon 66 22.
Nylon.
Yep.
Wow. You and Plinkster. I think that was. I don't know if that was one of his first he ever shot, but I think that was one of the first he ever had.
Yeah, awesome gun.
And he just found another one in last year and went crazy.
If I find another one, it's mine. I want one.
Yeah, he went crazy over that thing.
Yeah, awesome gun.
Do you have any military or law enforcement experience?
None.
Okay.
Absolutely none. It's something that I wanted to do, but I just couldn't. Medical reasons why I couldn't do that. Gotcha. So no.
When it comes to pop culture, whether it be movies, TV shows, video games, radio shows, books, magazines, comic, whatever, something pop culture that's related to firearms, what's your go-to? What's your favorite?
As far as for actual factual stuff, or just
No, just
Doesn't
whatever.
matter, man.
As long as it's pop culture, it could be a fake. It could be Star Wars if it's got because they got guns in there. They may not be real ones, but
Man, I'm a Red Dawn guy.
nah,
Original
nice.
Red Dawn.
There you go.
I'm not. I'm
Wolverine.
not.
Patrick Swayze action.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Not Martin, but Charlie Sheen. I said Martin.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Showed my age. Cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. But yeah, that would be it. But don't confuse me with new.
You didn't like the new one?
That was okay. I mean, but you can't watch Red Dawn and then make Red Dawn. You know what I mean?
How do you kill Thor? That's all I got to ask. How do you
Right.
kill Thor at the end? Come on, really?
I'm with you. So,
With a headshot, too. Man.
Yeah.
but to answer your other question
Sucked.
too, we do work with law enforcement a lot, though. Not to get off topic, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff with our local law enforcement.
Nice.
So, is there or has there ever been a firearm in your collection that little bit of you might be ashamed to admit to owning?
Oh, something that I'm ashamed of owning.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I owned I think it was a Raven.
Don't say an R-51.
I think it was a Raven or a Jennings 25 auto pistol.
A Jennings? Okay.
Jennings or a Raven. I can't remember which
I'm
one
not
it was.
familiar with the Raven.
Yeah, I think it was a Raven, though. I believe that's what.
Was it a piece of crap or did it
Oh,
shoot?
it's horrible, man.
Okay.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
He owned the Raven, Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Yeah. You never want more if you own a Raven.
Have you ever had one that like you had a while back, you got rid of it for whatever reason, and you kick yourself for it every day? You wish you had it back.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those.
What's the biggest one?
The biggest.
Not size, but just the one that is like your worst regret
Probably,
getting rid of it.
Your biggest regret.
I think it's a Bugger and Tompit TP9.
What?
It's kind of like an HK MP7 type submachine gun.
Right.
It was semi-auto, of course, but I actually sold it to a buddy that was really, really wanting it, and I was like, okay, I'll sell it to him, and I'll get another one. I was going to SBR it and suppress it, and I ended up letting it go. And I talked to DSA at, I think it was SHOT Show, and I was telling them, I want to get another one, and they stopped importing them.
Oh.
So now I have to either find one in the wild that's here or never have it again.
You'll
But
run
that's-
across one.
That was a big regret one for me.
What?
And-
Go ahead.
PS90 also, but I just bought another one SBR. So
So you got that one. So what about your bucket list? What's your next gotta have, wanna have, no laws, no restrictions? If you could have it, what would you get?
minigun, Dylan.
Sweet. That's
I
mine.
mean, that's if it's no hold barred and you got to have it, and the
Yeah.
one and only thing, that's got to be a minigun for me,
Sweet.
or railgun.
All right, we've got a new segment that just got created as we're doing the show. So our new segment is going to be Dean's thoughts from the crapper. So here's
Okay.
here's the first one.
So this is Dean from Two Vets Arms.
Having a $2,000 rifle and $150 optic on top of it is like having a guy with ED that has a supermodel girlfriend but forgot to refill his Viagra prescription.
And that was our first segment of Dean's thoughts from the crapper.
We've got
Words to
to
live by.
That's going to be a
get
good
some
one.
music for that.
We do with some weird sound effects, maybe.
Some plop.
To
It recorded well, so
have him do a voice recording and text it to you.
I think it'll be even better being like a crappy phone call because then it even adds to the he's sitting on the crapper thinking weird stuff.
There you go.
Yeah. It'll add to the effect.
Are you done with the with my questions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh, yeah, it's the minigun.
The minigun. You were probably talking to Dean. So, Daryl, you guys over at Tactical Existence have a really cool contest you're doing right now. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got a big giveaway going on with a bunch of different sponsors. The first prize giveaway is a totally customed out Glock 42 done by Mod 1 Firearms.
What?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're a sponsor of ours, and he does all of our custom work on our guns, which you can see some of those on our channel. It also includes a custom-made Cook's holster to your specs for the gun,
Nice.
a EDC belt from SOE which they are not sponsoring. I got to say, by the way, I'm actually buying that belt for whoever wins.
Okay.
And there is a Spyderco Tenacious folding knife, and then also a Surefire G2X LED flashlight. But we have 5 places we'll actually get. There's 5 different prize packages.
Oh, so is that all first place right there?
Yeah, that's all first place prize pack right there.
Awesome. So you got a Glock 42, a Kydex holster, a EDC belt, a Spyderco knife,
yeah,
and a flashlight.
Yep, Surefire flashlight. Yeah,
Wow.
Sweet.
Like number 2 is like a key bar, and I can't remember what all is included. I know there's a PMag, there's a A&B Arms T-grip. I think second prize also gets a All Stars Tactical Delta muzzle brake. There's tons of stuff. You can go over to our website and see the giveaway, and you can enter there or on our Facebook page.
So what do they got to do to win?
It's a random drawing. All they have to do is basically subscribe to my YouTube or Mod One's Facebook page. Or
so the more things they like and participate in, the more entries they get.
Yeah, absolutely. Like subscribing to me on YouTube is the biggest. You get 10 entries for subscribing to me on YouTube.
Sweet.
5 for liking Mod One's Facebook page or All Star Tactical. You get a couple of if you like their, follow them on Instagram, for instance, you get 2 entries or whatever the case may be. So It's really simple. You don't have to do a lot. You can also tweet about it once a day, gives you an entry, and you can actually send invitations to friends. It's pretty easy. You don't have to do a whole lot. And,
so is there no limit to how many entries they can earn then?
No, there is. I mean, if you do everything, I think you can get 50-something entries. And you can tweet about it once a day. So and there's 30 days. So that's another 30 entries that you could get.
Okay. And so at the end of the month, you're going to announce a winner?
Yes, we'll have it's a random, Rafflecopter actually has the program that does all that randomly. It uses random.org to pick the winners. So
and they can go to your Facebook page, they can go to your website.
Yeah, Facebook, website, and enter. And we're just Tactical Existence / Facebook or whatever it is on there. But
you're facebook.com/tactical existence.
Right. And then www.tacticalexistence.com on the interwebs.
The interwebs.
The interweb. But it should also be listed, I think, on Mod One's website too. I'm not sure if they have it on there, but anybody that wants to share it out, we appreciate it.
Man like me, am I eligible for that, or am I ineligible?
No, you are absolutely eligible. You're not a sponsor or in any way connected with Tactical Existence. So you guys are 100% eligible.
Yeah.
But now if you win, it may sound weird, though,
Well.
But you are eligible. Well, we don't pick the winner, so it doesn't matter. It's all random.org.
I may just keep the Glock, and then I'll donate the other stuff to our listeners. I'll do another giveaway.
Well, watch my YouTube channel because I will, the pictures do this gun no justice whatsoever. We're going to be doing a video showing the gun and the belt. And the reason I have the belt, I have to custom order that is I wear the belt every day. So that's why I gave it away. I think it's one of the best EDC belts out. But I want to show this gun out on video so you guys can really see. This thing is awesome, man. It
looks cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So what all
been cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what all did they do to it?
Full stippling package on the frame. It has forward serrations cut into it. It's been Cerakoted. I can't remember what color it is.
It's like a grayish.
Yeah,
blackish.
it's really sweet looking color.
Yeah.
But it also has a dish cut on the top, and then there's a bevel that's cut all the way around the slide that breaks up that block look of the Glock. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorite. That's one of the favorite things you can do to a Glock. My personal carry gun's a Glock 19 that Mod 1 made for me, and that's my favorite feature is that bevel cut.
Very cool.
But it lowers the weight and everything. It's an awesome gun. I mean, it's an $800 Glock 42. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's an awesome giveaway, and it's it's a true giveaway. It's nothing. Yeah. They just go and click here and click there, and they're automatically entered to win. So, Leadheads, go check them out. Tactical Existence, and get your chance to win a Glock.
We appreciate it,
Or
guys.
56 chances to win a Glock.
Yeah. All right, and if you don't win the Glock, you're going to win something. You possibly win something cool. I mean,
Right. There's 5 other places, right? You said
right. The 4th and 5th are just big swag bags with patches and stickers and pins and keychains and all that good stuff. So,
Good deal.
got a chance to win something. Maybe we can throw a Talking Lead shirt in there.
Hey, there you go.
Then you can't win, left hand.
Yep, that's true. If you throw a shirt in, you can't win.
I can't win 5th place though, right?
You can win the talking lead shirt. How about that?
We'll throw it in 5th place, and then I'm just not eligible for 5th place.
I'll have to go back and check the rules. People are still adding to the giveaway. Like today, All Star Tactical added some snake oil lube and some and then one of the Delta muzzle brakes. So stuff gets added all the time. Still,
I've got an empty water bottle that I've been drinking. I can. You thinking about?
Well, you probably won't put that on eBay.
No. Okay.
You just want to sign it and leave a little bit of your lipstick on it and put it on eBay.
Your DNA.
I tried.
Nobody wants your DNA.
You didn't catch the lipstick part.
Yeah, I did. I just quickly ignored it and dug deep into my Viking roots.
I got you.
We want to thank our sponsors, ICEtraining.us, Rob Pincus and all his guys with combat-focused shooting. Go on there, check out the schedule, and sign up for some courses.
Yeah, hit their website, PDN also, get some cool videos and some products they've got on there. They got some, talking about EDC belts, they got some cool belts there too. We'd like to thank HG Press, Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services for all your Middle Tennessee real estate needs. Give those gun-friendly guys and gals a call, especially if you're a veteran. They can help you obtain VA financing from some of their loan professionals that they partner with. Call them at 1-800-615-1840, extension 2222.
So you want to learn more about guns and be a gunsmith. Wow, that was really commercial sounding.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do? Well, go to sdi.edu, Sonoran Desert Institute, their School of Firearms Technology. A lot of really, really cool things happening over there right now.
Quit cleaning your gun while you're advertising.
Actually, that's a cigar cutter. I'm just opening up and. I mean, no, you're right. It's my gun. Yeah. So make sure you check them out. www.sdi.edu.
Cantu Bruner Designs. He makes those really cool gun casing. What do you call them?
Pins.
Yeah, he makes those really cool rifle casing pins.
Yep.
308s, the 50 BMGs you've seen in some of our pictures on Instagram and Facebook. And they do some other cool stuff too. They are at CantuBrunerDesigns.com.
Yep. Also, our newest sponsor of our newest segment, Two Vets Arms, is bringing us Dean's Thoughts from the Crapper. Go to twovetsarms.com.
Okay. Savoy Leather. For those really cool leather holsters, custom made. He can pretty much design anything as long as it's not
Vulgar.
He'll definitely hook you up. SavoyLeather.com.
All or Nothing Tattoo Studios, allornothingtattoo.com, and their very gun-friendly merchandise store, strangleholdmerch.com.
I'd like to give a big shout out to our buddies at Ergo Grips for all their support and helping us in our builds that we do and the ones that we got coming up.
Daryl, thanks for coming on, man. You got anything else you want to plug? Your social media, all that stuff?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the website. I mean, we're trying to be we're even on Pinterest, although I haven't used it yet, but I've been on there for a couple months.
We're on there too, but we don't use it. That and Tumblr. We're on Tumblr. I just did it. I just did it basically for SEO. I've never ever looked at it, but anything I do on Instagram, I link to all those. So,
but yeah, always a good time being with you guys. Look forward to the next time. I appreciate you having me on.
You remember
us up to shoot sometime, man.
Hey, absolutely.
And as always, left hand, keep your loved ones close
and your firearms close.